Coach,
Is that what you wrote here for me? I'm extremely excited to begin my third spring at Georgetown. Well, we're looking forward to getting started on Monday. I think we've had a good off season, and we just finished up with our morning drills last week, and you know, they're going to take a week off for spring break, and we'll come back and get started in earnest on Monday. I think there's a lot of excitement. You know, we've had some coaching changes and some scheme tweaks, if so to speak, and some things. And anytime you do that, I think it renews everybody's enthusiasm, and everybody feels like that they're on square one, and everybody has an opportunity to play. We're going to have several guys setting out this spring. I think we've got as many as 8 guys that are coming off surgeries and for whatever reason will miss. And what that's going to do is enable some other guys to get a lot of reps and really, you know, kind of see where they stand in the pecking order. Give them an opportunity to find a way to get on the field. So, excuse me. A lot of things that we want to get done. You know, ideally we'll come out of spring and we'll have some semblance of the 2 deep heading into fall camp. So looking forward to watching some of these young guys play.
did you struggle with scheduling spring practice because of new staff, you know, gray shirts, whatever you have? Because there's some people that start in February and finish early April and, you know, go over the top of their own spring break. I mean, how did you come about your?
It didn't have as much to do with staff as it did with the way our spring break goes. It never made sense to me to break spring practice up and start and then have a break and then have to come back and go again. So we wanted to wait until we could get it, you know, and our spring break seemed to be a week later this year. But if I went back and looked, and most of the years we played the spring game around the 24th of April. That's kind of been what it is. So we haven't changed a whole lot about that. The weather here was so crazy too. You know, you wouldn't think you'd have to take that into factor as much in Atlanta, but you do.
Will somebody like Roddy Jones be concentrating on football now?
Yeah, he'll be there. He'll be at all the football practices. I mean, that was the agreement when he went to baseball. And if they have a game during practice, you know, we'll see how it works out. I'm not sure that Roddy was on the last travel. I don't know, when they went to Maryland, did he travel with the team? Yeah. So
I know he played yesterday, but
yeah.
that was Mercer.
Right. Well, you know, the deal was if he's going to play and play meaningfully, you know, not just pinch run when it's 15-6 or something, then we'll work it out. But otherwise, I mean, his commitment is to football.
Coach, where does your excitement level lie in terms of beginning yet another spring practice? I mean, is it still the same, or is it somewhat comparable to when you first started in the business?
Oh, it's always the same. I think it changes the priorities, what you have to do. But I'm always excited to watch guys, and you know, you have a chance to really focus on fundamentals and coaching and getting them better at certain aspects as opposed to game planning. You know, the big part of spring to me is to try to give everybody a chance to play and you know, set a 2 deep going into fall camp if you can, so you know that when you come into camp who you're specifically working with. And it's always fun to get to look at the freshmen, because truly when they come in the fall, I mean, you've got a couple of weeks to decide whether or not they're going to play, and then if they're not playing, they're on the scout teams, and you really don't, they don't have a realistic shot of playing once they get on the scout team and start the red shirt. So this spring will be their first chance to really get a lot of meaningful reps to see what they can do.
With Josh Young and Jabo transferring, what can you tell us about the quarterback situation this spring?
Well, we'll have one. We got, you know, we've got 3 guys that'll take most of the reps. Tevin Washington, you know, he'll probably run with the ones to start with, and then Jordan Llewellyn and David Sims. We would want to get a ton of reps for them this spring anyway to find out where they are and what they can do. And so this will give us a good opportunity to do that.
Would somebody like Quentin get some reps maybe if you got
I don't
any
know.
injuries?
Quentin's going to start out at wide receiver, and we'll see. I mean, we'll see how the freshmen you know, we'll probably know a couple weeks in if we need to get Quentin some reps, we can.
Are there any other position changes from last year for people? Has Cox moved to linebacker, for example?
Linebacker. I don't know that Cox has ever played linebacker. It sounds like an internet move.
It might be.
Cox has moved to B-back.
Okay. Any other switches?
Anthony Allen's moved to B-back.
That's smart.
We'll see. I mean, you know, Preston Lyons is gonna be out this spring. Preston played pretty good. You know, I'm excited about Richard Watson. We're gonna start Charles Perkins out there at B-back and C, but I've been really impressed with him and winning drills. He's definitely a player.
Perkins?
So, I mean, it's not like, okay, you're the anointed one, here you go, partner. So there'll be some competition there too. You know, defensively, we're gonna move some guys around until we see where they fit. Some guys are gonna have to play. We'll have some new outside linebackers. Some guys will be, you know, they'll move from defensive end. We'll move some of those guys around. More than likely, I'm gonna move a defensive lineman or two to offensive line. Maybe a week in the spring. We'll see. We'll give them a chance. I've challenged a couple of those guys with their conditioning and their weight. If they don't do a better job, I don't wanna lie to them. That's where they're headed.